So the people that's catching this live, you're going to be catching a live podcast today. I'm doing my weekly podcast as we speak, but I'm doing it live, which is going to be recorded and later processed and stuff like that. And I'm doing it on YouTube Live. So a lot of you will be catching me on YouTube Live, and a lot of you will be catching the podcast that will come out later on today. So cool. So as you guys can see, I'm about to go ahead and get this started. As always, guys, this is the Investor Show. As always, this is your host, Prince Dykes, coming to you live from the beautiful state of Denver, Colorado. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, comment, and share button, all the other great stuff. But as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. So as you guys can see in the description box, the title, or whatever you might catch this, we're going to be talking about President Trump's tariffs, and, if I'm saying that right, his tariffs, and who stands to profit and who stands to lose. So stay tuned for more. So first, let's get into the whole process of what is or what are tariffs in the first place, right? So we're going to take two countries. Excuse me, I've been trying to battle this little cold here a couple of days. So we're going to take two countries. You got country United States of America. Then you have China, because those are really the big people in the picture here. You got the United States of America and you have China. Now, let's say if United States makes glasses, right? It costs them about $4 to make the glasses. So it costs them $4 to make the glasses, and they sell it for $5. So they sell it for $5 to the market. Let's take, what's going on, Richard? Let's go to China, for example. Let's say China makes a pair of glasses. China makes a pair of glasses, and the same pair of glasses they make them for $2, right? They make them for $2, and they sell them for $4. Right? So as you can see in this scenario, the United States is selling a pair of glasses for $5. China is selling the same pair of glasses for $4. How does that happen? That happens because maybe the labor costs. Here in the United States, you know how we are. We're fat, lazy, and dumb. We want to do less and get paid a lot, right? That's the American way. So we want to work just from Monday through Friday. We only want to work 8 hours a day, including lunch. We want vacation. We want everything, right? Versus in China, they work 7 days a week. Okay, how late am I? No, you're good. Everybody's good. That's coming in live. Thank you for Bree719 that's coming in live. Problem Child, aka The Truth, coming in live. No, you're not late at all. So for a prime example, right? In China, they may work 7 days a week, 12 hours a week, all that great stuff, right? Hey, what's going on, Leo Castro, that's coming in live. For the people that's listening to me on the podcast, this is, me doing it live or whatnot. But so for a prime example, so China, they, since they work longer hours, they work longer hours. They don't have all the vacation, all the benefits that we have in the United States, and they may do it for a cheaper price. So for a prime example, the person in America may be getting paid $20 an hour to produce these glasses versus the same worker, and the same worker in the United States, they may be doing the same, not in the United States, but the same person who's doing the same work in China may do the same job for $5 an hour, right? So they can produce the product for cheaper overseas. Now, this is when tariffs come into play, right? Tariffs come into play to say, the United States, we have to sell our product for $5. China can sell their product for $4. What's going on, John Doe? You guys can catch the playback and all of the good stuff too, but just stay tuned. I'm going to give you guys, if you listen to me, I repeat myself a lot anyway. So what the tariffs does is it gives the United States to be able to give its domestic companies a competitive advantage. What does that mean? For a prime example, let's go to that scenario. We had a company here in the United States that was making a product. They had to sell it to the market for $5. China was making the same product, but they can sell it here in the United States for $4. Maybe they may have better technology, lower labor costs, whatever the case may be, right? Now that they have done that, the government could step in and say, okay, China, yes, your product is $4, but we're going to place a tariff on you, which is nothing but a tax. In real life, we place a 25% tax on steel coming from other countries, except for Mexico and Canada. But we all know the largest producer of steel is China. The largest producer of aluminum is China. So who is this going to affect the most? China. So now it's a 25% tariff on aluminum. There's a 10% tariff. No, it's a 25% on steel, 10% on aluminum. Let me say that again. 25% on steel, 10% on aluminum. Hey, the problem child said they work for a steel company, right? So now this company has to tack on a 25% tariff to get their product to the United States. Now, their product that they were selling for $4, they're probably going to pass that price on to the consumers. So now they have to jack their price up to $6. So now that their price is $6, the United States price is $5, it gives them a competitive advantage. So why would a government do that? Why would President Trump want to do this? You're talking about America used to be we're the number one consumers of steel. Number one consumers of steel. I'm not 100% on aluminum, but we probably are with aluminum as well. But I definitely know we're the number one consumers of steel. But by us being the number one consumer of steel, we buy our steel from other countries. You know, so the president is saying, hey, why are we buying all of this stuff from China? Why are we not creating this home? You guys like my hoodie, the investor show? Thought it was pretty cool. That John does so they can take over the markets, right? So exactly. So the government says, hey, in order to be favorable to my country, I'm going to put a tax called a tariff to give domestic companies a competitive advantage on the steel market. Now, why do you want to give an American company the advantage? You want to give the American company advantage because now that means jobs for your people, right? We just can't consume all of our lives. So now your company, you back a U.S. company. Of course, businesses are going to love that. Imagine if you had a business that your number one competitor price has to go up now. You would like that as a business. Now, if you take care of the business owner, now that America's producing more steel, they have to hire more workers. So it can put a lot of steel workers back to work. And I also noted in his statement that he said that it's part of an ongoing, they're going to research it for 9 months, right? They're going to look at this for 9 months. So when you look at this for 9 months, they're going to do a study to see, hey, you know, putting our people back to work, putting our people back to work, raising our GDP, our gross domestic product. It looks good for us. Now it looks good for the United States. You got to ask yourself, what country that the money is going to move? Now, problem child, why would you say the money will move into China's pocket, right? Who's saying this online? Because with this saying is that it's supposed to give the U.S. companies a competitive advantage, right? So now I looked up 2 companies. Who is the number one producing U.S. company of steel, right? It's a company I looked at called U.S. Steel Corporation, stock symbol X. It's up 18% this year, largely because of what Trump talking about putting the tariffs on. Also, in the metal industry, Wall Street has given a lot of buy signals to, yes, before the tariffs, the money was going to China. Now that money should be circulating back into us, right? So back into the United States. Which companies are the largest producing steel companies? Someone in here, I think that was Problem Child, said they worked in the metal industry. If you work in the metal industry, who is the largest producing U.S. steel company in the United States? Right? I saw U.S. Steel Corporation was one. For aluminum, I saw Alcoy, I think that's how you say it, stock symbol AA, Alpha Alpha. Also, stock symbol for U.S. Steel Corporation is X. You have to pay attention to what the government is doing in business. Because for prime example, if you watch my Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting, Warren Buffett wrote just last year on the loan, just because of the Trump's, Alcoa for aluminum, right? That's aluminum. And steel, U.S. steel companies for steel. Now, just for, Richard says, China is flooding the market with cheap products to hurt our companies. Right? That's what the tariffs are supposed to do, right? The tariffs are supposed to give us an ONI is a high company for steel too. Okay, I haven't heard of ONI. I'm not a metals guy. I'm not a, I just know basic economics, right? So with that being said, you have to pay attention to politics and business. What I was saying, Warren Buffett made $29 billion just because of the tax cuts. $29 billion that they put onto their profit sheet just because of the tax cuts. If you paid attention, tax cuts just dropped, so corporations made money. So this is why you have to pay attention to politics, because now a new company is having a competitive advantage. The metal industry is changing. U.S. Steel Company, stock symbol X, Alco, AA. It might be other companies out there. These companies are going up just based off of the competitive advantage they have. So those are the ones who are going to profit. Companies will profit. Who else will profit? People who work in the steel industry. Their jobs. Now they have jobs back. Employment, right? Because we're increasing our GDP. Everybody say, Gino says, give the man a thumbs up. Okay, yeah, definitely appreciate it. If you like what I'm saying, give it a thumbs up. So now, who loses? Because it's always my opinion. If you can't tell me the downside of something, I don't think you've done your research. Always remember that in the financial industry, if someone is trying to sell you an annuity, on a stock, IUL, insurance, any type of investment vehicle, and they don't know the disadvantages, I don't think they know it enough. That's just my personal opinion. We can't create a pill that doesn't have side effects. So you need to know the side effects. Who will lose? Consumers lose on tariffs. Why? Let's say China was sending in cheap products for $4. Obviously, we love those cheap products because we was buying the heck out of them over U.S. products. The cheap China products with $4. The American-made product is $5 or $6, right? Now the tariffs get put into place. China price goes up to $7 or $8. Now I have to go buy the U.S. one for $6. You guys get that? Because I was getting it for $4. Okay, Problem Child said Russia is what I found for aluminum is the largest. But I want to know domestically, right? Who is the Problem Child? Who is the largest aluminum producer in the United States? Because yes, Russia, obviously not the United States, it probably is Russia or China, and if they are, they're getting a 10% tax placed on their products they blame to the United States, right? So those are the things that you have to think about. So now the consumer will lose. I will say that again. If you was used to getting something cheap for $4 from foreign countries, and here in the United States, you are getting it for, the United States product may cost $5 or $6. You was used to getting, Richard Prince, the guy who made the book Never Chase a Paycheck Won't Get Back to Me. Yeah, I was a guest that came onto my show. I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, you have his contact information. I can't speak on people's business practices. Maybe they will contact you back. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, right? I'll try to get in contact with them for you if it's something that you want to ask him, but that's his business. So back to the situation at hand. I kind of Like how I kind of rhymed that in a little bit, right? You know, back to the situation at hand. Who said that? Anyway, but now you used to get that cheap product. Now you're going to be forced to buy the U.S. product that could cost the consumer a little bit more. So that's who will lose. The loser usually will come out to be the consumer. But the winner will come out to be the domestic U.S. companies that now have a competitive advantage because of the tariffs, right? Now, on top of that, you also, what will be the winner is overall the market. Because when people make more money, what do they do? What do people do when they make more money? They don't make more money and save it. They make more money and they buy more stuff. That means their kids have a better Christmas. That means that they're going to buy that new car they thought of. Exactly, Breeze 719, you're right. So people are going to go buy that car. And when people buy that car, they go out, they may go buy that Tesla they was looking at, right? So that means Teslas, they make more sales. It ain't just a trickle effect, right? Now, the people who work at Tesla, they may expand, they may get better jobs, so you may see a bump in the market overall, or you may see a bump in gross domestic products because we're producing more. So, and I think that, you know, I'm not a global economist or anything like that. So, another bad side is it could start a trade war. For prime example, what if people started placing tariffs on us? Right? What if people start placing tariffs on us? Hey, you know what? U.S., since you want to place tariffs on China, that's essentially what you're doing because they're the largest producers. What if they started placing tariffs on the products that we export? Right? That could hurt us because now that we're not exporting that much, people are not buying our products. What's our number one export? You know, I have to look that up. I'm not sure what we export the most. We don't produce that much. We consume a lot, but we don't produce that much. I have to look at it. And I won't be surprised if it's cars, just generally thinking. But I definitely have to look that up. But that's good. If someone out there, you know, who, you know what, let me look it up right now. Someone asked the question, what does the U.S. export the most? Okay, Alcor's the highest for aluminum, problem child? From what I'm seeing, yeah. So I want to know, what is it? Yeah, that's what I figured too, was Alcor. That's what I saw. I want to know, what does the U.S. export the most? You know, what do we export the most? Because that could potentially affect us if someone placed a tariff on us. You know, let me see. Let me do a quick Google search. I know the people that are listening, that are going to listen to this back on the podcast, are going to be like, man, what's going on? But hey, we're shooting this live on YouTube, and I'm recording this at the same time for my podcast. As you can see, my microphone is right here as well. Almost lost my stance there for a second. But anyway, here we go. Let's see here. You guys hang on here. Okay. Capital goods. Yeah, it says, oh, well, the largest subcategory is blah, blah. We have a trade deficit. You know what a trade deficit is? He said probably weapons. Yeah, grain, beef, wheat, and fruit. That's what Richard says. I can see that. We have a deficit, meaning that we take in, we import more than we export, right? That's called a trade deficit. Food I export weapons. Here's exposed components. Statistics. Let's look at this. March 2018. Let's look at this. As I see what somebody's saying, okay, to capital goods, 533 billion. Natural resources, entrepreneurship, things like that. That's our capital goods, like, you know, like our Facebooks, our Googles, things that go across the world. But I don't want to keep this thing too long. We've been here for about 20 minutes now, 20-minute podcast. I got the info for balance.com. But I look more into that. But that's true. That's what it looks like. It probably is. That it's probably some food and capital goods, which are like they could do that. They could say, hey, no Facebook in our country, or no Google in our country, or whatever the case may be. And that's when we usually load our guns, the American way. But anyway, yeah, the website could be biased. So I don't have enough time to do enough of my research, right? I had to do more research. I don't just read one article. I read several articles before I come over here and make a fool of myself. So I read several articles. I read books, a lot of things like that, to give you guys good information. And I'm not perfect. I don't know everything, but I do share what I do know. So those are the companies who stand to profit. U.S. domestic steel companies, which I have the U.S. Steel Company and Alco. Watch out for those companies if you're into the metal market. So that's what a tariff is. So we talked about what a tariff was, who's going to profit, who's going to lose, and how it can backfire upon us. But as always, I'm about to get out of here. I thank for everybody that came on live. I'm thankful for everybody that's tuning in, that's going to catch the playback. Until the next video podcast or whatever you see me doing crazy around the globe, I got my email in the description box if you want to send me a question, if you want to advertise, all that good stuff like that. Hold on, let me see. Major U.S. trade partners blast tariffs. Yeah. I'm always late. He said I'm always late. But yeah, it's fine. You're going to catch the playback. It's going to play back back on the YouTube channel. And then when it plays back on the YouTube channel, it's not going to include the super chat. Right? It's not going to include all the comments that you guys wrote while it was live. So I don't want anybody to think, oh, he deleted all of our comments. I don't delete anybody's comments. It's that when I hit the finish button and it uploads, it takes away the chat. Yeah, catch me the next time. I'll be back. I try to do this once a week. Prince Talk, or catch me back on the podcast, or catch the live playback. All right? Peace. Y'all have a great Sunday. Until next video podcast, cartoon, book, or whatever you see me do crazy around the globe. Peace, be safe, I'm out, and thank you.